Your inner talk, what you consume, will always change your reality that you experience. So let me explain. The last episode, I talked about inner talk and how the word that we used, present tense, future tense, past tense, it will affect the difference in how you experience the reality that you experience. And one of the audience that listened to my show, I had a conversation with him, and he is asking me about a lot of different things. And I started noticing something. I noticed the words that he's using, the language, how he speaks and think. It's actually affecting his reality, like I mentioned, but he's not aware. So he's saying that he has problem to stay in the present moment. So I'm just going to use this episode to answer his concern. I'm going to read the message to you guys, okay? So we were talking about winning a lotto. He asked me, do I think rich people is all evil? And my first question answer back to him is, what makes you think, who gives you this idea? What makes you think rich people is evil? Why? How? Where that idea came from? This is a lot of the time that we're not consciously aware of a lot of beliefs, ideas, and just like this statement, rich people is evil. And I can imagine that this idea maybe came from the mainstream media because there are a lot of rules that it's bombard us with fears and telling us rich people are evil, they do bad things in order to get a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. One thing I want to say is 99% of the people that have a desire and they want to be wealthy, they want to have financial freedom, so they want to be rich at a certain level, right? So if a person, or let's say if I have this mindset, rich people are evil, and at the same time, I want to be wealthy, I want to be financial freedom, I want to have that, and but there's part of my thinking is rich people are evil. So let me ask you, do you think my desire, my want will come, will show up in my reality? Or will I project this type of reality for me to experience? The answer is no. I contradict myself. And this is what happened to many of us, many of our society is the elites. They know this will happen to us through our mind. It's one of the type of the psyop, right? So they put on the show, the movies, and even embody into our education system for us to stay poor, to have a poor mindset, to have these thinking generates a frequency and vibration, and that will keep us trapped in this third dimension. And at the same time, our experience in this earth will be very difficult, very struggle, very hard. And at the same time, the elites, because of these entities, they feed on fears, they feed on negativities. So we are giving our energy to them. It's like a vampire. It's like an energies vampire. It suck everything out of us. And that's why we feel tired. That's why we feel we have sickness, we have disease. At the same time, our food also contribute to that as well. So what we consume, what we watch, what we eat, what's our diet, it's all connected. And if we're not consciously aware of that, then we're feeding the negative energy. We're feeding the reptilians, the evils, the demonic, right? And so this person is asking me to make him to be more in the present moment. So this is why he messaged me. I'll be more worried about being young and rich than being old and rich. You see that? You hear that? I'll be more worried about being young and rich than being old and rich. Okay, so just one sentence, as you can see, the wording is very negative, very low frequency and vibration. I'm not try to put anybody down, but I just have to speak the fact, bring out the facts, so so the person can realize, oh my God, so they can have the conscious to aware of what's going on, what's the self-talk, what's the thinking that beliefs that he have. I'll be more worried. Worry. Why you have to be more worried? Who told you to be worried? Why you have to be worried? You don't have to be worried. And about being young and rich than being older and rich. Why you? First of all, I don't know how old this person is, but what's your concept of old? Okay, why do you think you're old? Is it because you feel you don't have much energy? You're feeling you have disease? All these questions you have to ask yourself. And when you ask yourself, then you will slowly bring yourself to the present moment. Because our mind, our conscious, you have two conscious. Our subconscious is the recording. It record everything, every thought you thought, and then projecting out to your experience. And in that sense, subconscious is act in a background behind the scene automatically. So your conscious, if your conscious is not here, right now, at the present moment, your conscious either in the past or in the future, right? So if you're worried about something and you think you're old, your conscious most likely is in the past. Somehow, somewhere, you might have experienced a trauma, you might have consumed or embodied some beliefs from somebody, from maybe education from someone, somewhere, right? So that's why you have to believe that you worry about being old and rich. You don't have to. Shift your conscious back to the present moment. There's nothing to worry at this moment, at this right now, right? Right now, at this time. Nothing to worry. Okay? And again, all you have to really, only you can answer this question. Why makes you think yourself old? Is it because you're the number, the age? The age is just a number. Literally, okay? How you think, how you feel, and how your conscious is at is more important than a number of your age. Okay? So next, he said, I try to embrace the struggle to make a living. If I won a lottery, I have to find a way to challenge myself. I will make sure I exercise after I get tired of being comfortable. So you see here, to embrace the struggle to make a living. I can see where that comes from. Maybe you experience some difficult living situation right now, financial situation right now. I've been there many times. As a matter of fact, I experienced that these past 2, 3 years. And it's not, I'm not feeling ashamed to talk about it because I'm self-aware and I have a consciously knowing what's going on and I see my own pattern. I know this is a life lesson. For me to take myself to the next level, I have to gone through certain challenges. And these challenges are expand my strength, expand my spirituality, right? When you try to do anything, when you use that word try, you're not having your full strength at the moment right now. Why you have to trying is not very consistent with your desire. If you want something, you should just do it. Why you need to try? Why you need to think about it? Why you, there's I can sense there's a fear, there's fear failure, there's discomfort. So you don't want to go full force. You just want to try. Does it make sense? So again, back to your conscious, bring your conscious back to the present moment, and there's no harm. There's nothing to be fearing about, and and you said to embrace the struggle. I know everyone has gone through the struggle, and again, these struggles are life lessons. Remember that. If you see those challenges, struggles, difficulty as a lesson for you to go to the next level, then the struggle, we call it struggle, the challenge will be as greater as we thought. Okay, everything is from the thought, and then the thought generates a feeling, and that's why you feel the struggle to make a living. But if you switch that thought, you switch the feelings, then your action will change. And when your action change, the result change. So law of cause and effect. So the cause is how you think, what your thought is. Because based on what you message me, I can sense your thought frequency is very low vibration. That might be from your past trauma and you're unconsciously living in the past tense in your mind. Okay? And so it seems like you have a desire to win a lottery. And you say, if I won a lottery, if is a term of uncertainty. You see how the contradiction here? Because we hate uncertainty. And I'm sure you feel everything around you is uncertain. That's why you use the word if. If you change the if, the whole frequency, the vibration change, you have to bring yourself back to the present moment. So you have to change the if to the present tense. There's no more if, no uncertainty. You want to be for sure. I'm winning the lottery right now. I am. Okay, no past tense, no future tense. It's right now. I am winning the lottery. I'm not trying for you to having a delusional in a sense, but a assumption, because assumption creates a image. Okay, because when we assume, we have that image that will generate a feeling. Your feeling state will change. Okay, just like when we watch a movie, television, or sometimes reading a novel, any type of book, we generate a feelings, even though these shows, these TV movies and books are not real, but we have that feeling already, right? Because we create this assumption for these characters or these scenes in the movie drive you to have certain feelings, and you felt it, you react to it, right? And all these are fake. It's not real. So why don't we use that same concept into our reality and just assume, use the law of assumption and tell yourself, and you don't have to find ways to challenge yourself. Why you want to challenge yourself? When you win a lotto, you should feel abundance. Why you should be happy? Why do you have to feel challenged? I don't understand. So you see how I bring your conscious back to your present moment. That's why I bring your word forward onto you so your conscious can be aware that you're now living in the subconscious as an autopilot throughout your life. So it's very, very contradictory, very contradictory. So here's one thing to share with you and everybody else. When you catch yourself of these negative thoughts, negative inner self talks, when you realize that the power dissolve, or when you have the opposite is when your ego wants you to stay in character. If you realize that, if you're aware of that, if you're conscious knowing that, then all these will not bother you anymore. And the reason being is because you're aware of it. And when you are consciously aware of it, Again, your feeling change. When your feeling change, you take different type of actions. When you take different type of actions, your result will show your experience in the reality. This in this material, this third dimension reality will be different. When you notice all these negativities, these low vibrations, thoughts, inner self talks, right? So hope this really helps you. And I really appreciate everybody's comments, everybody's message to me. And I love to read them. So if you're on YouTube, please leave all your comments, all your feedbacks, even questions like this. Okay? And subscribe to the channel. And if you're on audio platforms, you can also write me a review. You can also put your question on there, but make sure you follow the audio platforms that you are listening to this podcast. And the last thing I want to share with everyone is I decided to start a school community because I know spiritual awakening journey is very lonely, and oftentimes that certain things that you want to share with your friends or your family that they don't understand, and sometimes they might call you crazy. So I want to start a community that we come together, have this collective consciousness. With any questions like such, any story that you want to share, any experience, any concerns, or any worries, so we can come together and have this connected activity and change our consciousness, and so we can experience our reality in the way that we desire. Okay? The link is in the show note. If you're on the audio, if you're on YouTube, the link is in the description. It's a waiting list right now. It's called Quantum Consciousness Awakening Portal. And it's a community on school that I'm going to start. And we're going to have live calls every week. And we're going to have Q&A. We're going to have conversation like this, interaction like this, because right now you're just watching me talking. I cannot interact with you, right? So this is the reason, another reason why I would have started with this community. So it's free to join right now. If you sign up on the waiting list, then when the community opens, then when the portal opens, you will be the first one to be notified, and it's free for you to join. So until next time, I look forward to seeing more of you guys' comments, reviews, feedbacks, questions. Okay? See you guys on the next episode. Stay safe and peace.